Welcome to Ford Family Funds. My name is Rachel, and I'm here today to share with you my March 2021 budget. I've been posting for a few months now here on YouTube, sharing my annual budget, sharing my month-to-month budgets, doing some budget recaps and meal planning ideas, and sharing how I'm staying on budget as I grocery shop and care for my family. If you like that type of content, join me on my journey, subscribe, and for those who are returning, thank you so much for your support. I love having you here and joining me as part of my family. Month to month, I've been looking at my budget and tracking. I've been budgeting and tracking my budget for over 10 years, but this is the first year I'm more intentional about sinking funds. So saving ahead for the future, thinking about what do I need for this year, for 2021, what do I have upcoming, and therefore creating saving goals so I can have that money set aside ahead of time. I'm also looking to purchase my first house, and so saving for a house fund and again, putting money aside for other funds so that way we can put more into a house savings account. I will link back some of my earlier videos so you can check them out, and I look forward to sharing more videos in the future. So for my March 2021 budget, I've already pre-recorded some things here into my planner. So these are my goals for the month, kind of thinking about the end of February into March, as well as into April, as I'm closing out the quarter for the first quarter for January, February, March. These are the big goals. Maintaining a frugal living lifestyle. Thinking ahead to March, it's a 5-week month, and I've been frugal the past 2 months for January and February. So thinking about how I need to spend some money on a stockpile for groceries, adding back into our stockpile, especially our freezer, but doing that in a way that is frugal and really evaluating every expense that I have, every purchase, every time I choose to spend money, and therefore being intentional in how I am spending my money and how I am saving my money as well. So that is what frugal living is all about. It's not about not spending money, but making the choices to spend money and being very intentional and mindful about those choices. So with that, meal planning, what you spend at the grocery store is a big part of frugal living because it can be an expense that adds up very, very quickly. For many years now, I've been following a $400 a month budget for groceries, and now I'm tracking a $500 a month groceries and household, and that includes diapers as well as toiletries. So that meal plan really, really helps for planning the food we're going to eat without breaking the budget. We try to eat low carb, low sugar, low dairy, so following more of a Whole30 type of diet, if you're familiar with that. It's, a diet more based on whole foods, really limiting grains and sugar and dairy. And instead of just following that diet for 30 days, I'm really trying to make it a lifestyle change. So therefore, some higher expenses for some food. So again, planning ahead, looking at sales and the circular flyers, and not just thinking ahead to what I want to eat in March, but also April, May, the summertime, as we start to think ahead to the spring and the summer and everything going on, and extra expenses with that. So with that in mind, in March, my goal is to make some more headway on these bigger sinking funds goals. So I have an expected vacation the end of June, and so I'd like to have $400 set aside for that. My Volkswagen maintenance fund of $600, so that's getting an oil change and the registration. Having that money set aside early. It's not due until December. Well, the oil change might happen actually sooner than that, but you know, the registration's not due until December. But if I decide to purchase a new car or buy the car I'm in because it's a lease, then I might have to do my registration early. And then in July, I have another vacation where I'm hoping to go down to Georgia to see some family. And then I have another one scheduled in Virginia with my family. And so I'm expecting that one to be a bigger cost. Around $2,000 is what I'd like to have set aside. And then I have my Navient loan. Currently that's at $2,500. And I'm hoping to pay that off with my tax refund. And if we get more money from the government for the stimulus money to help, people affected by coronavirus and everything we've been going through, if we get that money, then that could also help pay off the Navient or help fund these sinking funds. But any extra money we have, will be going towards these goals. All right, so here is my my blank list of expenses. So how I have been planning is I have one list for our checking account. So this is, our budget that comes out of our checking account for fixed and variable expenses. So I'm going to say March budget. And it's, fixed and variable. So fixed expenses are those that stay the same every single month. Variable expenses can change. So like groceries, I budget $400, but maybe sometimes I go over or I am under, right? So it's variable. Or gasoline is another example of a variable expense. Now my grocery household spending and our fuel spending for my car, I put that on our credit card and then I pay that off at the end of the month. So this side is just for checking. So for the checking account. So I'm going to say checking. And then I have on this side, so I made up this sheet already to save on some time. I used washies to divide the spaces. So this is going to be my credit card spending with, again, fixed and variable. So I've got categories with the amount. I'm just going to put a $sign for that. And then I have the 1st through the 15th of March. So I'm going to say March. And then the 16th through the 31st. And I have the total. So this is the way that I'm tracking my fixed and variable spending that happens on the credit card. And then this is for the checking. On this page, this is where I will do my tracker for my credit card purchases. So March 2021. And then over here is where I like to add up my categories. So if I have, my grocery category, I'll put the numbers next to it. So that way I have this here. So I'm making some changes from my last video. my last budget setup. This was something I intended to do and then I didn't, so made sure I did it this time. And then on this page, with room into the second page, I'm going to use this for tracking my groceries. You know, groceries and household spending. And again, for March of 2021. So I don't really need to fill in anything here or here or here, but I definitely need to list my categories for the CC spending and my categories for the checking. So I have budgeted and then actual. All right, so the first one for the categories is always rent, and that is $1,600. I also, me and my husband, we pay child support for my stepson, and that is $400 a month. I have my bank fee, which is $4.99. I get credit protection, identity theft, cell phone protection, all under this fee. And then I start looking at, well, I can do two ways. I can look to my monthly spread, which I'll come back to this in a minute. So I've already pre-planned that. But for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to go back, take out my February budget, and start filling in what I have. So I have my life insurance, which is fixed at $36.95. I have internet, fixed at $105.95. Electricity went up in February, so I'm going to budget $107 even. And gas is also around $180. Again, I have my Volkswagen, I have my Navient, that's my student loan that hopefully will be paid off sooner than later. I have my Fed loan, which currently is on hold, so that $85 I put to my Navient student loan. I have my daycare. So looking at the month, I have $230, $460, and then these 2 weeks as well will be $460 because there's no days off. So $460 and $460 is $920. And then I have Costco as a placeholder, $150, which I probably will go in March to Costco. For my household credit card spending, so that's grocery and household and my spending, is a total of $1,000. And then CC sinking funds for the month of March will be $0. I don't have anything planned as an extra expense in March. And miscellaneous, that's for anything that comes out of the checking account that wasn't expected. So like for February, I had some of my eBay fees get deducted from our checking account, so that will go under miscellaneous. But I'm budgeting $0. And then savings, I don't have a specific number. It's more if there's extra, I'm able to put that into savings. So I will put varies for that. My Yotta savings account, I'm doing $12.50 a week, so $50. So $50 for the month, I believe. No, it will be extra. It'll be $62.50 because of the 5th week. So $62.50. And my husband has his work van, which we pay out of our personal account. He puts in usually $500 into our account to pay that, and then I just pay it right away. And the last one are my cash envelopes. So instead of having separate sections like I did here, I'm just going to put, cash next to each of these. And I know I'll be taking out $100 for my cash envelopes. So out to eat, cash is $40, and then the tip for my hair, which I give in cash, is $40. So my total here, I guess if I totaled it up, it's going to be anywhere between $5,000 to $6,000. So $1,600 plus $400 plus $499 plus 36.95. It's going to be closer to 6,000. Yep. So $5,882.39. So, and that's not including any of the savings except for the Yotta savings. Now, I don't have my income listed here, but my income for myself is around $1,240 take home. I cover all the insurances. I have my retirement pension, taxes, as well as an extra 403B account for retirement, and my health savings account. So all of that, after those deductions, I get $1,240-ish as my take home. Now, thinking ahead to March, I have the 4th as a payday, and the 18th is a payday, and then the 1st is a payday for April. So April is actually a 3 paycheck, but this first paycheck on the April 1st, I anticipate will help cover some of these expenses, for the end of March, particularly for paying off the credit card. So we'll have to see how it lands and everything, but generally with my take home, that's around $2,500, and my husband typically contributes around $3,000. That would be, for his contribution for the household and then his work van. So that is an income of $5,500, which is $382 shy of our budget. So again, because of being a 3-week paycheck in April with that rollover at the start of April, end of March, that will help make up for any deficit as well as if my husband's like, here's an extra $300, which he sometimes will do, that could help as well to offset that. But it's tight. Every month it is tight. And I look at these numbers every few days in my spreadsheet in order to see where I stand. And before making any decisions, I'm thinking about this greater budget. And I'm not just thinking about month to month, but I'm really thinking about the whole year. And where do I want to be in 5 years from now? And the decisions I make today are going to have an impact on that future. And the biggest thing right now is getting that Navient federal loan or Navient private loan paid off. So that way I can start taking those, that $230 and start using it in a better way for savings, especially. So that's where I'm at with our budget and what's coming out of our checking account. But then looking at CC spending, I have to, keep track of that as well, because I don't want to go over that $1,000 that I have budgeted for CC spending. If anything, I want to be under the $1,000, because anything under is going to be extra in my checking account that can be used in another way. So for the first category, I have Facet Wealth. So this is a financial advisor company that I'm working with, and that is $150, and that will come out on the 1st. So I have my cats as a budget line, but I don't think for March I have my cats. So I've already planned ahead. April 9th will be my next Chewy order for my cats. So therefore, for March, that will be $0. And then I have gas and tolls. I just paid tolls. So I'm going to come back to that and see what I have left. Grocery household, I'm just going to put GH is $500. And then my son is $30, but I'm expecting I'm going to sign him up for his baby gym again. So I'm going to say gym, $80, and forgo the $30 in extra money for him. And then I will have a hair appointment. So that is around $150. And miscellaneous for me is budgeted at $0. Out to eat is budgeted at $0. And then sinking funds in March is $0. There's nothing extra that isn't accounted for. And I'm just going to add another miscellaneous category. So I did this in February. That's more of like a family miscellaneous that doesn't go under grocery household. And then eBay, there might be like shipping fees. I'm still figuring out, how to have my eBay sales pay for shipping. There's like a button I press, but if I don't have the money because I've already done the payout. So I'm just going to put eBay $0, but have it as a line in case I need to record any eBay activity through my credit card. So that is my spending. So if I add up the totals here, I have 150 plus 500 plus 80 plus 150 equals $8.80. So that leaves me with $120 for gas and tolls. I don't expect to use that much, but it is a 5-week month and I'll be traveling to work more frequently. So therefore I could have a higher gas bill and I might have to put more toll money, on our account. So having it at $120 gives me an even $1,000, which matches my budget. And then halfway through the month of March, I'll do an update letting you all know how I'm doing with these expected expenses. And then at the end of the month, I'll do the same for the ending weeks and then totaling it up for the end of the month spending. So that's what I have today. This is, a part of a series I've been doing every month of updating you all how I'm doing my budget, how I'm keeping track of my categories, what I'm spending, and therefore where some of that extra money is going when I have that extra money. If I'm able to make an extra student loan payment or put some more money into a savings account for a sinking fund, or even into our house fund that we have through Yotta, an online lottery type of account. If you want to learn more about that lottery account, you can link in the description. I've included the link for the Yotta, so you can check that out. All right, so if you have any questions, please ask below. Comment, how are you doing with your budget for March? How are you doing with tracking your categories and your groceries? What are you doing to save money? I'd love to hear it. And for those that are returning again, thanks so much. And for those that are new, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here on my journey. Talk to you later. Bye.